Hello, my name is Pamela Powers. Today is June 28, 2024. Well, yesterday was the much anticipated grandpa debate. On one side, we had grumpy grandpa Donnie. He's the guy who's going to give you a whooping and send you to your bedroom without dinner because you broke his rules, even if you didn't know his rules. And then we had kindly Grandpa Joe, who might be a little slow on some of the answers, but he's the one who paid your rent or maybe your mortgage during the pandemic. So it's a clear choice. And one of the things we learned last night was that these two old dudes who were the oldest candidates in 2020 didn't get any younger or more articulate in 2024. We had Trump on one hand, who pretty much didn't answer any of the questions unless the questions were about crooked Joe Biden, the disaster at the border, the bad economy, or the January 6th. And it really didn't matter what the question was. Those were the answers that he came up with. So every once in a while, he got the answer and the question matched up. But for the most part, his answers were his campaign tidbits, his talking lines. And, he spent the evening also making stupid faces, and anyway, it was awful. I was thankful, though, that the CNN had the questions, displayed for everybody to be reminded of, right below the candidates while they were speaking. And so you could see that the question was about daycare, and Trump's answer was something completely different. And unfortunately, when Biden had his, answer minute to Trump's 2 minutes on, whatever, Ukraine or the Mexican border or whatever, not childcare, then Biden actually responded to what Trump was talking about instead of to the childcare question, and so, CNN was trying. They were reminding us, visually, and often the moderator says, well, the question was, and it happens in political debates. People will deflect. And in fact, if you go through any candidate trainings, they'll tell you how to deflect and change the subject. Now, it's usually not suggested that you change the subject on everything and only stick to your campaign talking points, was what Trump did. But it made for a wild ride. And we didn't really learn a lot from last night's debate. I think part of the problem that we're faced with another choice between two old white men is the two-party system, right? There was no real challengers in the primary to either one of them, no challengers at all to Biden. It's like if we had had some primary speeches, we would have learned some things along the way, right? We chose these two old candidates in 2020, and we're faced with the same older candidates in 2024. But I would really like to focus on the issues and not on the personalities. Women or anybody who can get pregnant against their will and be forced to have an unintended pregnancy, you need to vote for Joe Biden. There is no other choice. One of the questions that they both did answer, not well necessarily, either one of them, but one of the questions that they did answer was the question about abortion. And Trump gloated about how he put 3 wonderful judges on the Supreme Court, and they sent Roe v. Wade back to the states 2 years ago, and what a great decision that was, because everybody wanted the states to decide abortion rights. I don't think so. Women celebrated when Roe v. Wade was passed in the 70s. I was a college student when that happened. So many women were crossing state lines to try to get an abortion in, New York City or Detroit or a handful of places that were giving abortions if you could get there. And we have returned to that now, and that's ridiculous. And you look at some of the statistics, something more than 50,000 unintended pregnancies were forced to be taken to term since Roe v. Wade went down. More than 150,000 women have traveled to another state, and some of them are traveling many miles. You know, this has become a boon, an economic boon for some states, but it's ridiculous for these women and their partners and their families to suffer like this because of an ideology that the Republicans are promoting. It's all about oppression and power and control over women. And so, like I said, women, or anybody who cares about women, or any dudes who don't want to get forced into fatherhood what they didn't intend, you know, you need to vote Democrat. Joe Biden has already said that he would sign a bill if Congress would send it to him that would protect abortion rights nationally. We need to get back to that. It's ridiculous that that was never passed in the last 50 years since Roe v. Wade. The other thing that we have to look at is the environment, the threats from capitalism and corporate power. I mean, there is a lot happening. I applaud Joe Biden for the things that he's tried to do, like excusing student debt. Excusing student debt helps all of us, because then these young people, and some of them aren't so young now, they're in their 40s and 50s and still paying student debt. But these young people are able to buy houses and buy cars and participate in the capitalist economy if we get rid of that crushing student debt and fix the student loan program in the future. He also is a humanitarian, obviously, because he just said that people who are married to U.S. citizens won't be deported. Thank you. Let's not break up families. Breaking up families is going to get you lifelong enemies. Keeping families together and helping people become more successful in their lives, you know, helping them get a better education, helping them get out of debt, helping them stay housed. These are all good things for the economy. So let's not think that Trump's the only business guy and he's the one who's going to fix our economy. He fixed our economy with that Trump Tax Cut and Jobs Act, which, as he gloated about last night, was the biggest tax cut in history. It was the biggest changes in our tax code, and it was passed over like Christmas with no debate on a party line vote. It has ballooned our deficit and blown up our economy. It is terrible. Yes, biggest tax cut for these people, the 1% or the 0.001%, but not for the rest of us. And so the Tax Cut and Jobs Act should be sunset as it was intended. It is a bad deal for most of the people in the United States. We also have to protect Social Security. You know, they're like, oh, Social Security is going to go bad. Biden pointed out the main reason that Social Security could be insolvent in the future is that rich people are not paying their fair share, as usual. You know, the CNN moderator says, you got more time. Do you have anything else to say? No, that's the biggie. That's the biggie, is that rich people should pay into Social Security at the regular rate for all of their income. Actually, what Biden was proposing was a little generous for them still. But still, we need to look at our rights. We need to save the rights that we have. We need to be able to vote. We need to be able to make choices about our bodies and who we love and where we live and what religion we want to practice or no religion at all. All of that is at stake. So please vote Democrat down the line. And in Arizona, watch out for those citizens' initiatives put on the ballot by the legislature. So there's a lot going on. You can't tune out. You got to stay focused. We got to win this.